All right, guys, we're going to do a quick post FOMC day. So today was pretty interesting, although not surprising, right? Because anytime you have Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell or any announcement by the Fed, there's always some kind of big moves or and fluctuations on the Euro USD, right? Um, so I'm going to start with what I was looking at yesterday and what I posted as one of an idea for the Euro USD. So I'm going to backtrack pretty much right over here before we had this big up candle today. So the first thing I was looking at was, let me draw this back out. I was looking at a rising wedge potentially, right? So I had this drawn out, okay, and I also had this drawn out, starting from here to here. Now, from a technical perspective, textbook, this is definitely a wedge, right? You have this big base here, and it starts getting smaller and smaller at the top. And with also the MACD divergence, that also made it, a little bit more convincing, right? You have this high, and then the MACD making a potentially lower high, and then while the Euro USD is making higher highs. So, but again, I was not fully convinced of the bear side um, until we got below 1.0800. I This candle here, not gonna lie, it had me really not really trusting the bearish move yet. And if you go back and see the other video that I made, then you'll see why. So it did take a short. I forgot exactly what it was, but once the market started going up towards 0920, and in the morning it started fluctuating. It started staying around 1.09, 1.0910, and then once the Federal Reserve announced the interest rate, um, 25 basis points, it started pulling back pretty hard. However, again, this candle had me. If we didn't go below this candle, or that candle didn't, today's candle didn't go red, then that told me that, you know what, there's too much bullish momentum. It's not looking good to stay in this short, and I ended up closing manually before Jerome Powell started speaking, because I felt if the market was going to continue higher, by him answering questions and talking about the economy and talking about inflation and all this, that it was going to push this market really pretty strong. So I ended up closing it manually. Then I stayed flat for a little bit, and then I ended up reversing my position around 0918, 0915, around there. So this trade obviously didn't work out, but I'm currently holding longs from 0918, right above here, because they was saying if you started breaking higher, then this thing is just going to run off. So um, where I'm looking at to hold so far is, I look at these median levels. This median level is at 1.1, 1.11, I should say, and that's where I'm looking to hold this trade and let this one run for now. Now, the funny thing is, I have a technique of trading trend lines that are very, very unique, I would say, because I haven't really seen anybody trading it or trading using it this way. I learned it from a very good trader many years ago, back in 2011, and it's very effective. But I'll just show you quickly. If I'll just move this out. I'll cancel this out up to today. Okay. So one thing I was looking at beforehand is drawing a trend line here. Now, there was perfect resistance right at this point, but I wasn't fully convinced that this resistance was gonna hold. However, earlier today, when we started getting that push, we started getting some kind of resistance here at I would say about 1.0980 or 75, and it closed above that, and you can see once it closed above that, the next candle found support right at that trend line and continued higher. And I actually entered another smaller long position, I think a 1.1 around there, but I won't be adding any more there's no reason to just keep adding, especially if you're practicing risk management. You don't want to go crazy and just keep, you know, adding positions just because, right? Just let your trades go and let themselves work out. Um, but yeah, that's where I'm looking at right now at 1.11. And if we look at actually the weekly chart, there is a, let me just remove this real quick. There's a gap that I wonder if this market's going to fill. This is all the way up here at between 1.13 and 1.11 actually. So right here in the zone, oh, let me just redraw that. I wanted a box. This zone right here. Okay, I don't know if this market's going to wants to fill that gap all the way back from February 2022, but that's something that will remain to be seen. Right now, the first target is the median level up at 1.11, and if you continue higher and it starts trading much higher up to I'm sorry, above this 1.11, then we'll look for 1.15, which is around this median level here, right? You can see how these levels work perfectly, just to get an estimate where the big zones are. And like I was saying yesterday, there was strong support here from this median level all the way back to 2020, and then we broke through it, found resistance here, and then I didn't like the fact that it closed above that. And although things were looking bearish on the daily chart, I was very wary of being super bearish and trying to trying to convince myself that this is going to work out for on the bearish side, because this definitely was in the back of my mind that we closed above this. And as you can see, obviously this big push up. And also, what I was talking about quickly yesterday is that the market sometimes there's obvious zones. Like if I pick this, I drew this out. Actually, no. Let me redraw that out. From this support to this support. Okay, let me just put that here. So the market will trap you sometimes. You have this support, and remember there was a lot of before this candle, they look like indecisive here, right? So I'm pretty sure there was a lot of shorts here, and therefore you have this monster move, taking people out, either manually, margin calls, or stop losses being hit, right? And some people that are short here, obviously, if you're a new trader, and obviously if you've been trading for a while, you know that this happens to new traders or traders that really don't want to take a loss, and they end up holding the bag all the way here, hoping that it turns around. And obviously, that's not always the case, and that's how you ended up losing your account. But going forward, that's going to be what I'm looking at for the Euro USD. It looks like it found some support here, so I'm looking for it to continue higher. Obviously, if we get below this point, we get below um, one point, I would say 1.1 or 1.099, right around there. Basically, this trend line is like my floor right now. So we somehow, for some reason, we get below that, I'm gonna just get out, take whatever profit there is, and that'll be that. But for now, I'm holding on to these longs and looking to make that target at 1.11. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the week. We still got more economic data um, for this week, and see how the euro plays out. So with that said, the number one thing always is to practice risk management. Don't get married to a position. If things look bearish or things look bullish in your perspective, according to your trading method or your strategy, always be prepared to look at the other side of what potentially can happen. Now, sometimes some of our trades, and you see a perfect setup, you're fully convinced, and the market does end up doing what you anticipate for it to do. But especially on days like today with FOMC or any type of major news, you always got to be careful and be ready to switch sides to balance that out, and just get out manually, right? There's always, you can always get back in to a trade, but you definitely don't want to end up holding a trade that you shouldn't be in anymore. And that's definitely one of the most important rules in trading. But I'll gonna make another video maybe tomorrow or this week. I'll make a video talking about what I've learned over the past 14 years of trading. I have a lot of valuable lessons to teach, a lot of mistakes I've made, especially for a while when I didn't have to work a job. I, I I was trading extremely well, and also talk about the downfall of the things that I went through psychologically and emotionally, which is completely separate than trading strategy or any type of methodology, right? So, hope you guys found this useful, and I'll see you in the next video.